My name is Ms. Communication.
And I'm Hakuna Mapamba.
And we are here today at Battle for the Coast, and we've got Santa Cruz's Harbor Hellcats taking on the West Coast Derby Knockouts TKOs, and that's right, fast action.
Looks like West Coast Derby Knockouts got the lead jam.
That's right. West Coast Derby Knockouts get the lead jammer status. I apologize. I am fiddling with sound instead of figuring things out. Your jammer for Santa Cruz out there is number V11. No. That's right, number V11. And she calls off the jam, and we promise we're going to get into this now. All right. Hi, Pamba. How's it going?
Pretty good. Good break. We're ready to go.
Yeah. We had an exciting morning of action with the Richmond Wrecking Bells and San Fernando Valley headed on to second day of play. And now we are starting the second session. Folks playing a round robin to play for tomorrow.
And jamming for West Coast Derby Knockouts is 681 T-Stop Anya. And number 4 for the Harbor Hellcats, Health Hazard.
Health Hazard getting knocked down to the inside, and T-Stop Anya goes past Shanks a Million, and she does kind of a little slider around the turn, and she is lead jammer.
She picks herself back up, though, and gets back in there.
Pack wreck now super, super active. And T-Stop Anya hits the pack, but with Health Hazard on her heels, calls it off. 1 point for the West Coast Derby Knockouts. Score now 5-0. West Coast on top. 18 minutes remaining in this game.
And we have 86 Heartless Harpy for Santa Cruz Harbor Hellcats jamming. And number 88 Morgan Lee Slay for the TKOs.
Morgan Lee Slay, one of the West Coast Derby Knockouts main jammers. She kind of anchors it down for her team. Morgan Lee Slay looking for the play against Santa Cruz's defense.
Looks like the Santa Cruz jammer just got hit out and recycled to the back, but she makes a recovery and gets lead jammer.
Heartless Harpy, your lead jammer right now, back in the pack. Morgan Lee Slay still contending with the Santa Cruz defense, but they finally have to let her go. Steel-toed Diva heads to the penalty box.
Heartless Harpy makes a pass, calls the jam for 4 points.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. We had 2 blockers on the track and only 1 blocker in the box. It looks like they failed to field a 4th blocker, Pamba.
I'm thinking the same thing as well. We have 213 for the knockouts. Sucrose Overdose.
And number 667, Roasted Pony for Santa Cruz.
Start of the jam. Looks like Roasted Pony's getting an early entrance to the front of the pack, but she's recycled to the back. Looking for a line. She's pushing forward and gets lead jammer.
She gets lead jammer, passing up Sugar Free. Sucrose Overdose. Get it? There's a pairing there.
I'm seeing
still
a lot
fighting
of,
back in the pack against Santa Cruz.
Miz, I'm seeing a lot of food-themed derby names this tournament. Corn dog earlier this morning. A lot of food going on here.
Well, we are at a fairgrounds, Pamba. And Sucrose Overdose heads out of the pack. And she is ready to score points. Forces the call off by Roasted Pony. Roasted Pony sitting on 2 points. Score now, Santa Cruz pulling ahead 6-5 over West Coast. 15 minutes left in the half.
We have number 5 jamming for the knockouts. Tiny Enforcer.
And I have a poor vantage point of the jam line. Sorry. Santa Cruz has fielded a jammer, though. West Coast Derby Knockouts holding the line at the top of the pack. That's Knockers.
And I believe it's Adrian's Revenge, V11, who just got lead jammer for Santa Cruz. She was our mystery jammer at the start of the line.
The pack kind of mooshing together. Whatever strategy is kind of happening in the pack right now. We've got a split wall being fielded by Santa Cruz.
Both jammers hit out to the outside line. Both need to be recycled.
5 points in the sky for Adrian's Revenge. And Tiny Enforcer still stuck at the back of the pack, getting tangled in the Santa Cruz defense.
Yeah, they're building some strong walls out there, making it difficult for her to move through.
West Coast in a straight line, doing that little traffic direction thing with number 33 Knockers at the top, kind of telling her blockers where to go. And we've got Tiny Enforcer headed to the penalty box.
And looks like Adrian's Revenge, she's on a power jam. Mind you, it's 30-second penalties now, so we'll see how many passes she can get through.
Knockers and the other West Coast ladies trying to speed up the pack. That's Gwen Tsunami. And we're making sausage out there, ladies and gentlemen. Number 88, Morgan LeSlay, trying to build the bridge. And they have to let her go out of play. 5 points as Knockers heads to the penalty box for that out-of-play penalty. So now pack advantage belonging to Santa Cruz. 4-2 advantage.
Looks like she's going to get one pass through before that jammer gets to re-enter the track.
And we're making reverse sausage on the track as Santa Cruz backs up to let Adrian's Revenge free. 20 points now thus far for her in this jam. And the clock expired. That was a counterclockwise block that sent Tiny Enforcer to the penalty box. 26-5 now, Santa Cruz building a massive lead on West Coast with 13 minutes remaining in the game.
They are going into this jam down one blocker, so we'll see if the Derby Knockouts can make a lead jammer pass here while they're down a blocker. We have 681 T-Stop Anya jamming for West Coast Derby Knockouts.
And the Santa Cruz jammer knocked all the way back on the outfield, leaving some time for T-Stop Anya, lead jammer. It's like number 723, Sugar Free, headed out on a multiple player block. And that is Health Hazard,
who's struggling to get through on her initial pass as she finally gets through. T-Stop Anya is making her pass through the pack right now. And she calls the jam. 3 more points on the board for West Coast Derby Knockouts.
Score now 26-8, 12 minutes remaining in the game. Definitely, we like to say it a lot. If your jammer's in the penalty box, you're not going to get any points, and that's what really helped Santa Cruz to pull ahead. The other thing that really is worked in their favor is that Tiny, instead of handing off the star maybe to her pivot, she just kept fighting in the pack before they finally got her to draw a penalty.
Absolutely.
And next jam is in play, and on the outside, number 86, Heartless Harpy, lead jammer. She is jamming against number 88, Morgan LeSlay.
Morgan LeSlay still working on her initial pass to the pack. Looks like those Santa Cruz blockers are giving her a little bit of a hard time there. Heartless Harpy sneaks through for a 5-point pass.
That's right. 5 points the hard way, my friends, with all of the blockers and the other jammer on the track. Santa Cruz spreading it out, and they have to let her go in order to avoid destroying the pack. So Morgan LeSlay ready to score points. Heartless Harpy, though, on her second scoring pass, picks up 4 points, 9 points total for Santa Cruz.
Just a reminder to you folks at home, this is a 20-minute bout. We are playing shortened half bouts, if you would, today. Tomorrow will be full with the teams who make it to day 2. So these teams are working hard with little time to score as many points as they can. Number 14, looks like 14 is jamming for the Knockouts, Steel-Toed Diva.
And I think that's Roasted Pony. I think I saw her number. I apologize, folks at home. We are on the opposite side of the track from the jam line, but we will definitely get it when she comes around. Here is lead jammer, Roasted Pony, ladies and gentlemen, Santa Cruz. Steel-toed Diva looking to be effective against Santa Cruz's defense, ready to score and about a half a track behind Pony, but she's getting ready to enter the pack right now from the back right hand of your screen. Santa Cruz doing a really great job playing some defense and corralling West Coast. 1 point for Roasted Pony. Steel-toed Diva making up the time.
And jamming for the Santa Cruz is V11, Adrian's Revenge, and number 681, T-Stop Anya for Derby Knockouts.
Elite Group provided us our Battle for the Coast t-shirts, and they can provide a lot of things for you. They're a full-service, wholesale promotional product and marketing company. Go to www.elitegroup.com.
Start of the jam. Still don't have a jammer, lead jammer yet to find, but it looks like it's going to be Adrian's Revenge for Santa Cruz. T-Stop Anya is working her way through. She's actually going to the notorious RED penalty box for a track cut.
T-Stop Anya's right foot went inbounds when she got knocked out of bounds. Very briefly, she tried to pick it up, but didn't quite make it. It looks like Adrian's Revenge, though, picking up a back block penalty, so we're going to swap those jammers out. One will serve the same time as the other. T-Stop Anya is back in, and we're going to go the remainder of this jam. Santa Cruz doing a really great job backing all the way up around the track, forcing her to re-enter further back, killing basically Adrian's penalty before they even had to play.
Exactly. It's a good strategy, especially when you can tell that your jammer only sat for about 10 or 15 seconds. You don't have much of an opportunity to score a lot of points since you don't have a full power jam.
Unfortunately, though, T-Stop Anya picking up a back block. She's going to go back to the penalty box, and she's going to sit for a full 30 seconds.
Adrian's Revenge pushing her way through those blockers, almost to an out of play. And she gets that call and continues, scoring 5 points.
It's right up at the top of the pack. That was Morgan Leslay. 5 more points for Santa Cruz. They're pulling ahead 46-8. 7 minutes left in the game. T-Stop Anya back in the pack from the box. You're going to see the pack speed up here. T-Stop Anya on the inside, getting battered by Chelsea Smile. Oh, and a big hit on Adrian's Revenge.
Looks like she was down on turn 4 over there, but she gets back up quickly and tries to score some last points before the jam's called.
Jam is called. 4 points further for Adrian's Revenge. 50-8 now with 7 minutes left in the game.
And it looks like we have 213 Sucrose Overdose in for the Derby Knockouts. I think Roasted Pony, like we said,
Roasted Pony.
667 in for Santa Cruz.
Sucrose Overdose trying to fight her way through on number 322 Kosher Assault.
She was pushing through hard there, all in the toe stops, running as hard as she could through the pack.
And on the outside, Roasted Pony is a sneaky horse. Lead jammer.
Sucrose Overdose is hot on her trail, about a quarter lap back.
Right now, Santa Cruz lining up at the back of the pack and slowing down the pack, and then they go ahead and accelerate, hoping to push some blockers back.
She picks up 1 point. Santa Cruz jammer picks up 1 point, making the score 51-8.
51-8, 6 minutes left in the game. This is the first game of the final heat of our day. Everybody in each segment plays each other the round-robin style in 20-minute games. The penalty limit is 4 penalties will foul you out in a shorter game. Also, both teams only have 1 team timeout and, of course, 1 official challenge.
And I think we're seeing a lot of different strategy played here with these half bouts versus a full 40-minute or hour game, especially with these 4 penalty maximums without fouling out. We're seeing these packs move a lot faster. People going, there's no time to revamp after a second half. They have it's now or never to get it right.
Steel-toed Diva out in front. Your lead jammer, Heartless Harpy, though, right on her heels, gets into the pack. She does not pick up any points, even though she finished about halfway through the pack. 1 point for Steel-toed Diva.
We have 667 Roasted Pony in for Santa Cruz.
And number
88 Lesley, I believe,
yes,
for West Coast Derby Knockouts.
We got another scrum start back there on the jam line. Roasted Pony looking to trot her way up to the top, but Morgan Lesley trying to make a break for it. She gets kind of knocked to the infield and then kind of falls inbounds and has to crawl back in. Buys enough time for Roasted Pony to become lead jammer.
Did it look like it took a little bit to get up there? That one might have hurt a bit.
Morgan Lesley still having trouble with number 13, Chelsea Smile. We've got a forearm call on a Santa Cruz blocker. She's going to sit for 30 seconds, and we've got 5 points up in the air for Roasted Pony.
Morgan Lesley is still trying to push her way through. She gets through the pack.
So we've got a second scoring pass here for Roasted Pony, who's in the lead coming around turn 1. Gwen Tsunami right now is goated at the back of the pack.
She picks up 3 points and calls a jam.
8 points total for Roasted Pony, none for West Coast, 59-9, and we are under the 4-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen.
We have Adrian's Revenge back in for Santa Cruz Harbor Hellcats. And it looks like Sucrose Overdose back in for the Derby Knockouts.
You almost blink and these games are done. They're so short.
Very true. Very true.
Sucrose Overdose, though, not blinking. She's pushing up the inside. Lead jammer, West Coast Derby Knockouts.
She gets that lead jam rather quickly, and Adrian's Revenge still trying to work her way through the pack. They keep hitting her out to that outside line and recycling her to the back of the pack.
Sucrose Overdose fighting against number 76, Raven Von Chaos.
Adrian's Revenge trying to push through those Derby Knockout jammers, trying to push her way through.
We've got a little triangle of players, which is interesting because if they turn in line still grabbing one another, they do put themselves at risk for a multiplayer block there.
Absolutely.
Adrian finally gets through, ready to score points, but Sucrose calls off the jam with 5 points. She was knocked to the outfield. 59-14 now, Santa Cruz on top. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining.
We have Steel-Toed Diva in for the knockouts.
And Roasted Pony for Santa Cruz. For those of you who are watching at home, Santa Cruz has chosen to field their B team for this tournament. This is not the Division II, number 2 rated A team from Santa Cruz.
I did not know that. Thank you for that.
Steel-Toed Diva getting battered at the top of the pack as we make a little sausage, and she hits back. Lead jammer, West Coast.
She's charging at those blockers to get through that pack.
Roasted Pony called off of the track and then told to return. Apparently a little misfire.
Or a miscommunication.
It could be, but she is, I'm sorry, that's Health Hazard. I apologize. Health Hazard. She has picked up 5 points and she's back in. Steel-Toed Diva, though, just now starting her first scoring pass.
I believe so, yes. It looks like Pony's through for 4 points.
Sorry about that. It's Health Hazard, number 4.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry.
I wrote down the neck kerchief note next to the wrong person. Sorry about that, folks at home and Health Hazard friends. Now, I didn't point out their B team because, of course, we've got a timeout being called by West Coast. They're going to have their one timeout right now. So Santa Cruz fielding this B team the thing that you see is that teams that have a highly developed A team often have a higher level B team, and so when looking at the competition field here at Battle for the Coast, Santa Cruz decided to choose their B team to field. But of course, with the score now 67-21, that puts Santa Cruz's B team in the fray to be competitive here in this second heat.
I think it's a really good example of a good, well-established league that works on training all of their skaters to be at a high level, and you're seeing that here.
We've got T-Stop Anya putting on the star for West Coast, and she will be skating
with 86 Heartless Harpy. Jammers are working their way through the pack here.
T-Stop Anya pushing against that three wall, keeping it very careful to avoid that multiple player block. I think Santa Cruz is really playing with fire on that, but we've seen very few penalties on the blockers here in this last half of the game.
Looks like we have 7-2-3 going to the box.
You know, I said that. It happens.
You jinxed him.
Lead jammer, Heartless Harpy.
She's going in on her scoring pass.
T-Stop Anya, though, not giving up. Knocked to the outfield, shoved behind that bridge over troubled water that is the Santa Cruz defense.
And she gets through.
Heartless Harpy finding her way around Machiavelli. Picks up 5 points and calls off the jam. And that, folks, is the unofficial final. 68-21. Santa Cruz on top. I think what we saw here is that West Coast just kind of got hit at the beginning of the game and just couldn't gain any traction. Santa Cruz just pulled away with everything, everybody congratulating one another.
I think that Santa Cruz had a couple of key power jams and were really able to capitalize on those and score a lot of points during their power jams. With this new 30-second penalty,